Would it be valuable to you if you could create a sustainable, the word sustainable, work-life balance? No more working weekends, no more sacrificing your personal life to keep your business afloat. Would that be valuable to you? Then listen up because we are joined today by the amazing Joy Book-Tamas in this episode. So, Joy's going to be sharing practical tips and strategies to help you master that difficult balance between having a profitable business and maintaining a personal life, of yourself. Just helping you create a whole life, not just a business. Does that sound good? Well, welcome to Momentum Maker Podcast. I'm awesome Angie Engstrom, honoring the awesomeness in you.
And I'm Geeta Atgard. And once again, a big welcome to you, Joy. We're thrilled to have you here today. So big welcome.
Woohoo!
This is going to be so good. Now, okay, for those of you who don't know Joy yet, let me do a short bio. Joy is a business transformation strategist, and she is the founder of the Business Distillery, where she helps business owners achieve greater profitability and that work-life balance, and show them that building a thriving business does not have to come at the expense of your work-life balance. Joy's expertise lies in time mastery, system optimization, and strategic refinement. She's empowering her clients to reclaim their time while growing their business. Perfect purpose. So, in this episode, we'll be talking to Joy about how to achieve a perfect work-life balance in your life, just making it a lot better. And personally, I love this subject, so let's dive in. And once again, a big welcome, Joy. Thank you for joining us.
You. I'm so glad to be here. Super, super excited.
Yay! I love your energy. That's so
Yeah.
it's so we were talking before this episode, the importance of fun in business. So I'm sure there's going to be some of that peppered into your conversation here.
You
I have
got it.
no doubt.
Absolutely.
So once again, welcome to Momentum Maker Podcast. And you heard our bio. How about let's hear that same bio? Give us your elevator pitch in your words.
Awesome. Well, I'm Joy Book-Tamas. I own the Business Distillery. I'm really here to show you that you can have a thriving business and it doesn't have to be at the expense of your sanity. Okay, we all have we have our own expertise. My sharp expertise, I've got time mastery. I got system organization and I got strategic refinement. I can help you refine your business so that you could strip away that nonsense, deliver a clear, actionable strategies, and let your business actually work for you, not the other way around. So if you're ready to ditch the chaos and scale sustainability, I got your back and we're going to talk all about it today.
I love it. No more nonsense. I love it.
Sounds amazing.
All right. Well, okay. So let's back it up a bit. What inspired you to get started in this?
Oh, okay. So this is a story. I know we got a little bit of time, so I'm going to tell a little story, but I'm going to go deep in this, okay? So I started the Business Distillery after owning actually many other business. I have owned a cleaning company, wedding planning, event planning, you name it. I have probably done it, probably with the exception of sex toys. I don't think I sold sex toys. Almost everything else, I apologize if it's a little bit too much information. Almost everything else, I have probably sold it, or I have worked with people who have sold those products. Exception of sex toys, haven't done that. But after years of business, I kept on having business owners come and tell me how stressed they were. Um, they're trying to chase this mythical work-life balance. They're failing because it doesn't matter how much success they have on paper. It's like this multi-million dollar business owners are coming to me and they do not have the time for life and a successful business because they're focused so much on making sure that business is going, they forget that they have a life. Multiple entrepreneurs have burned themselves out. They have convinced themselves that they need to try harder, they need to try and balance. And I just knew I had to do something to help these people. They're friends of mine. I'm really tired of seeing people, their marriages dissolve, their kids are hurting because the parents are choosing to keep a business going over spending time with their own kids. And I just couldn't handle it anymore. I actually went to a soccer game, with some friends of mine, and I watched entrepreneurs on their phone, not even watching their kid while their kids are playing soccer. And that just hurt me. And I see it all the time. You see it everywhere you go. Parents are on their phone or, doing something else instead of paying attention to those kids. And that just hurts. So it really hurt me. So I needed to do something. And I decided to start the Business Distillery. And I've enjoyed every moment since then.
I love it.
What a beautiful story. I really love that. And yeah, I noticed the same thing as you, Joy. It's pretty often I see people, even if they're in a restaurant, they sit with their phone and the kids are just sitting there eating by themselves. So yeah.
Yeah, it's
And,
hard.
and it's not just the kids, it's people at the park with their dogs. They're walking their dogs on the phone. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that way.
No.
We need to be present and
There's the magic word present. Yeah.
Present. Yeah.
present. Yeah. So that's it. I
Yeah.
want people to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Get that.
What would you say is like the biggest myth about work-life balance that you've encountered in your career?
Okay, we're gonna go there real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Buckle
So
in, everybody. Here we go.
buckle in. Okay. So I'm gonna spew down some things, okay? So picture this. Your business is thriving. Your inbox is empty. Your team runs like a well-oiled machine. You actually clock out at 4:59. You pour yourself a drink and you enjoy a quiet evening with your family. There's no late night emails. There's no Sunday panic session. There's no feeling guilty because you're answering your texts at your kid's soccer game instead of watching the actual game, doing what there. That sounds amazing, right? Like, that sounds amazing. Like, that should be something great, right?
Right.
Yeah, like that's like straight out of an entrepreneurial fairy tale. And why shouldn't it be, right? Everyone talks about the gold standard, the hustle, the culture, the burnout. Burnout? What the heck? Do we actually talk about burnout? No, we don't. We talk about balance, and balance is supposed to be non-negotiable, right? You manage your time well enough. You say no to a few more things. You stick your perfectly color-coded calendar. You finally get it right. Do you actually finally get it right? I don't know. Did we actually ever hit that perfect equilibrium where we never actually work too much? We never neglect our family, and we're actually being pulled towards a multi-million or $1 million business? Or are we being pulled in a million different directions? What's that is there? So to be honest, some people out there claim that they've mastered it. They've actually figured it out, and they haven't. They tell you about their morning routine. They tell you about their boundary setting magic, their secret formula for effortless success. Do you know the type? Do either one of you know those types?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
Absolutely.
offer everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wake up at 5 a.m. Now, granted, I do wake up at
Yeah.
4 a.m., so I guess I'm probably amongst them. They meditate for an hour. They drink a green smoothie. They take a freezing cold shower because it's better for clarity. They work exactly their 6 hyperactive, productive hours, and they spend the rest of their day fully present with their loved ones. Is it reality? Are we not all
No.
doing the same? Well, no, obviously, we need to try harder because balance, it's possible, right? Like, is it not balance possible? I think it's possible. I think that's what they tell us. That's what all the books say. Every work harder. No, no, work smarter. Which one is it? Is it work smarter or harder? I don't know, but we all get taught both of those. Either you're working harder or you're working smarter, whichever one are there. And I want you to do, instead of chasing the balance, I really like to help business owners actually distill their time. And I'm getting to a point here, okay? So I want you to stay with me. I want you to distill their time. I want you to fulfill your commitments. I want you to have their business strategies and stop wasting the energy on the things that don't really matter. And it's called a process that I call distillation. And that's why my business is called the Business Distillery. It is just like making a fine whiskey. You strip away all of the crap, all the stuff that's unnecessary. You refine what works and you focus on what actually moves the needle. And one of the first things that I do with my clients is a time audit. We break down exactly where their time is going and eliminate what is not serving them. And I help them create systems that help them work smarter and doing it in less time, focusing on what actually brings the results and mastering their time. And that's what ends up being the core is mastering your time. And that's why I have a program called Master Your Time Foundations. And we add on to it and we transform so they can take their time back, transform, take back your time. I will be able to speak. I'm going to stop up and you can ask me another question because I think I rambled on for a little bit there.
So in
Now,
summary on that question, what's the biggest myth? What
The biggest myth, I've rambled, I just threw it. The biggest myth is that balance is something that you actually think you can achieve.
gotcha.
That you magically think that it clicks into place, but business and life really don't work like that. And I can talk more about that, but I'll stop here for a moment.
okay.
Feel like I could just spew on and I want to make sure that you're asking all the questions. So I'll stop here and we can go on in a moment.
Go ahead, Geety.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, so when you're being pulled, in all directions at the same time, almost, how do you prioritize?
Okay. That is a huge thing. I actually have a priority list.
Ah,
And that is one of the things I teach my clients. And my private clients, we work one-on-one and we work through a priority list. I use it as a Google Drive. So I create a priority list and I teach my clients how to use this. You are literally getting like my VIP top end client secret tips here. Okay. So
ooh,
I teach my clients how to use this Google Drive and how to be able to teach their own people. So their teammates and even their family members. And yes, I have a Google Drive with my husband and my family. Okay. I do. But the priority list is what you work with and you set a priority. You determine what is number one and you determine what is number 10 on that priority list. And it changes every day. And that's why I like to use it sort of like an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets so I can be able to click on it and it changes my number. And every day I go into that. And all of my clients do this as well. Every day they go into that list and they determine what their top three things are. And then they're only writing those three things down. So I have a book. I write down my top three things in my book, and those are the three things that I do that day. And I don't do anything else until those three things are done. That's my
mm,
priority.
nice.
Did I answer that correct or enough or any other you want to ask any additional questions on that or I can go on for hours on the priority list. So
Well, I've suddenly gotten a little curious about the methods you're using because I know you have some kind of process you take your clients through, and you mentioned a couple of the things. Would you mind going through it?
yeah, absolutely. Okay. So when I go through these processes and when I go through these things, the priority list is number one. It is huge, absolutely top notch. Okay. And then I'm going to go through is what are you doing for your time? How are you spending your time? And this I'm going to say everybody thinks that work-life balance is something I achieve. And it's not something I achieve. It's a recipe for literally the balance is mediocrity. It's not try harder or plan better. You're basically going to achieve the most toxic thing you possibly could if you're just keep on trying and trying and trying. So you need to put systems and processes into place. You need to actually have something that you're doing and choosing to have. So can I dive deep into this a little bit? Is that
Yes,
okay? Okay.
please
So
do.
Yeah.
okay, let me give you a reality check because here's the truth. and I'm about to serve it up straight, no chaser. This is like straight cocktail, no ice, no nothing. This is it. Work-life balance does not exist. It really doesn't. It is a lie. It is a myth. It is a beautifully packaged fantasy designed to make us feel like failures. Okay, the sooner you stop chasing that, the sooner you actually build a life that works. So let's get real for a moment. You distill the truth. You get rid of all the fluff because you do not need balance. You need something better. Balance assumes everything is equal, and that's not how business works. It's not how life works. Okay, have you ever made an old fashioned? I don't know if you have. I'm just going to go on and tell you about how you make an old fashioned. It's whiskey, bitters, sugar, and ice.
Gotcha.
Each ingredient is the right proportion, but not equal. It's not balanced. It's a recipe, right? So business owners need a recipe. So if I was to imagine pouring the same amount of whiskey as I do for bitters, it would be disgusting. It would not be. Or adding the same amount of sugar as I do whiskey. Again, disgusting. It's not going to happen. So when you try to force your business into your life and you have that 50-50 split, it's not equal. It never is meant to be. Everybody calls that a work-life balance when it's 50% work and 50% life. That's not how we live. That's not how I live. We have seasons. We have priorities. Sometimes my family is more important than anything else that I possibly could do in business, and I have to choose my family. And sometimes I have to choose my business. Okay? Like you have to make the choice. It's never going to be exactly a balance. It's called alignment. And I know I'm not getting into the deep dive. I know I'm not going into the here's my processes, but I need you to have a little bit of understanding about what alignment is. So I'm going to go into alignment if it's okay with you guys, because I think that is going to help you understand a little bit more.
All right.
I want you to, it's okay with everybody? We're good?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay. I want you to ditch balance. I want you to go for alignment. I want you to stop chasing balance and start chasing alignment. Balance says work no more than 40 hours a week. Alignment says, where does my time actually make the most impact? Balance says, make sure you're home for dinner every night. Alignment says, make sure when you are home, you are actually present. Balance says, everything must be perfectly equal. Alignment says, pour it when it matters. I want to pour something. I want to have certain things. It's going to be there. I do not need balance. I need to distill my priorities and double down and actually move that needle. And sometimes that needle needs to be moving on my family side. And my life is a priority more than my business. And it doesn't matter how many millions of dollars I am working with or how many millions of companies I am working for. I am making sure that my life is priority when it needs to be. And that's the balance. That's the alignment. That's what needs to be. You don't distill your priorities. You double down and move that needle. I said it once. I'm going to say it 3 times. You do not distill your priorities. You double down and actually move the needle. That's what you need to do. When your business is in growth mode, you're not going to be clocking out at 5 o'clock. When you're scaling, you're going to miss some family dinners. When you're establishing a new offer, reworking your systems, hiring a team, balance goes out the dang window. It's gone. And that's okay because it's more about intention, not being equal. There's a quote that says, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fail to the level of your systems. And that's when the system of work-life balance is broken. Okay. So there's a distillation process. You're going to filter it out. You're going to think of it like a fine whiskey because that's what distillation is. And that's what a business should be done. It should be distilled. Don't throw everything into the barrel and hope it works out. You distill it. You strip down the excess. You remove the impurities. You get the best parts to raise to the top, and your time works the same way. You prioritize your time. You prioritize your family. You make sure that you have those things on your calendar first. Just like we should be paying ourselves first, but people don't talk about that. They think that, I have to make sure all my bills are paid. Well, yes, you have to make sure your bills are paid, but you need to make sure that the top priorities of things that need to be paid are paid first. And that's what I don't want people chasing after, that work-life balance. I want you to focus on distillation. I want you to filter out the distractions. Not everything deserves your energy. Refine your commitment. Stop saying yes when you do not serve. It doesn't serve your long-term commitment, your long-term goals. Age what matters. The best things take time. Stop rushing to check every box on a checklist. That's not what my priority list is about. My priority list is making sure that the top priorities are at the top all the time, every dang day. And yes, that means Saturdays and Sundays, the top priorities are on that top. And sometimes those priorities are business on Saturday and Sunday. And sometimes those family priorities happen on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, because that's what it is. Okay. So when you start trying to force balance, you end up, pardon my language, half-assing everything else. You just do it. So sorry, I will stop scrolling and spewing all of this out, and you can ask me another question.
I am certain that in another lifetime you were a preacher. Like
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got a lot of
probably.
passion for this topic. So
I'm just going to take a drink of water, and you can ask me another
I
question.
bet she's got whiskey in there, everybody. Like
Yeah, probably.
now you're on fire for this, Joy. So that's coming bubbling up through you to our listeners. So listeners, I hope you appreciated that. That was boy, that was coming from some depth. And I am certain there are some good stories to back up that depth and that passion that you have, Joy. So our listeners love stories because they, help us see ourselves in this. Can you share a successful client story?
Yeah, so absolutely. You know what? Instead of a successful client story, can I share a story about me?
Oh, sure.
I'm going to tell you a story about myself.
Okay.
Because you cannot be a proper client until you understand and you've done things for yourself. And that's what a lot of business owners, when you're a business owner that is working with other business owners, you have to realize that the first success story should be yourself. So I'm gonna go with a success story for me. So I ran a cleaning company. I ran a wedding and event planning company. I have planned events that literally cost millions for one day. I have planned weddings that I'm pretty sure 1.7 million was spent in one day on a wedding. When you are doing those kind of things, you have all of the stress. You have all of the craziness. I had lists and lists and lists, and I was stressed out. And I'm going to express something. And I don't have a good ending to this, but I'm going to tell you something just to give some little bit of vulnerability so you understand where I'm coming from. I was so stressed out that my body decided that it was no longer time for me to have children. And I got pregnant multiple times. And every time I got pregnant, I lost the child before 12 weeks because my body was so stressed. I gained so much weight and I was not happy. I really wasn't. So I had to change some things up. I'm no longer in wedding and event planning. I now help business owners. I can't give you a great success story and saying, oh, now I have a baby, because I don't. But I have a life, and that the prioritizing is where I feel that my best success story is because I had to prioritize my life. I had to prioritize my family. I had to prioritize me more than $1 million business. And it didn't matter how much money I was making, because I was making good money. But I had to prioritize me before that. And that's where I really feel that every one of my clients ends up being, is they choose to prioritize what is the most highest priority at the time of their choice. Because there are times that business is going to be higher, and there are times that family is going to be higher, and you have to choose. Okay. So the business success story that I could possibly say, it starts with me, and my success is I now know how to choose correctly.
That's the key right there, everybody.
Yeah.
Choices. Yeah.
And
I
I didn't,
see now where your passion comes from.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. That's wow. Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah, and thank you for being here to share with our listeners because somebody out there, if you're hearing this message right now, if you're listening to this podcast and this is speaking to you, I encourage you to reach out to Joy. She obviously has your back
I do.
on a very deep level. Thank you so much for sharing that story, Joy. I can't even imagine. There are so many people out there that can relate to that. I am certain.
Yeah.
Um,
This is really deep stuff. Or this is like
yes.
you're getting to know me and like literally I'm trying to not cry. But you know, I feel like people need to understand who I am as a person. Because there's a reason. Like I had a multi-million dollar business. I still have a multi-million dollar business, but it's not in wedding event planning anymore. And I had to choose myself first. And that's the biggest thing. That was my priority. It still is my priority. And you know, there's still days that I'm working on a Sunday night because I need to do something, but I choose that.
There's that word again, choice.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
So powerful. Go ahead, Geety.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I really love your message, Joy, because I know there are so many, especially female business owners, I would say, who feel sort of inadequate, listening to people say, "Oh, you just have to get up at 5 in the morning. You have to do this and this and this and this and this," and I just love the way you sort of bring it down and just say, yeah, you gotta prioritize what's important, and everything can't be your number one priority all of the time. You need to choose. So I love that.
And being in charge, like the whole word decision,
Yeah.
making decisions for yourself, planting that flag in the ground. This is a whole nother topic, but I do believe that the personal development industry has done a major disservice to especially business owners, people
Agreed.
in general. That's a whole nother topic, but you
You come
breached
back,
on
we can
it.
have another discussion. We're having a last
That's a whole
show.
nother discussion. But yeah, this is a perfect example of yeah. All right, Geety.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, to me it's obvious that you got your customers back, like Angie just said. So what holds people back from working with you? Well, what's the number one reason if you had to mention just one thing?
Okay, one thing, their
Yeah.
own belief that they do not have time to fix their time problems.
Oh,
Ah,
makes
That's it.
sense. Yeah.
They believe that they don't. It's a cycle. People think they're too busy to make a change, and that's exactly why they need to make the change, and that's exactly why they stay where they are.
Ah,
yeah. It's human training. It's training. Again, that alignment, bring that whole alignment word again. Like, what is
Yeah.
it you're going for in your business? Latch onto that, set your priorities, and let's go. Time block it out and let's run.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people, some business owners really feel that working less means that they're making less. But in truth, it's not. A well
Mm.
optimized business, a refined business, you know, they actually are more profitable because you're focusing your time and energy on the right things.
The
Okay. So
80/20 principle. Yep.
we're attached to that balance. And it's not the balance that we need. We need alignment. We need to understand that I'm not going to just organize better and try harder and everything's going to come into place. No, let go of that myth. Embrace a more sustainable approach. Yeah, just be aware where your priorities are. You know, if you don't know what a priority list is, come and talk to me. I would love to talk to you about a priority list, but be aware of where your priorities are. That's the biggest thing.
All right, Gita, you
so
got
good.
anything else?
Nope. I was just gonna say, is there anything else? Any last comments, Joy?
Um, I, I, I think that's pretty much it. I would hope that maybe people might come and check out my website if they're willing to do so. Go and check out thebusinessdistillery.com. You know, I have a community. I have a group of business owners that are in a community. The community is growing all the time, and you can actually join that community for free. That's a gift. I gift that to everyone.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Excellent. All right. And you have a website? What's the website?
Yeah. Thebusinessdistillery.com.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, thebusinessdistillery.com, and right on there you can be able to go and see and join, and just go and connect with other business owners. Have a membership. There's a button that says membership sign up. Go to that and sign up. It just takes a couple of little minutes. There's no cost to it. It's just how I give back to other business owners.
Yeah. So we would definitely encourage you to go to Joy's website, thebusinessdistillery.com, and join your network. Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, please join my community. I hope that everybody does. If anybody is interested in actually talking to me directly as well, there's a button on there. It says transform together, and you can have a time to be able to talk to me. Tell me what your priorities are. Let's talk about those priorities and figure out, because everybody's got different priorities. We all do. I can go on and on and on. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, the passion
And
is
it's wonderful.
flowing. Passion is
Yeah.
flowing.
Stop
Yeah,
chasing
exactly.
balance. Stop chasing balance. Instead, refine your business. That's the biggest thing. Refine yourself instead of to trying to do the work-life balance. We have balance. We just have to figure where it is. It's
Mm,
different. Anyways,
it's
I'm gonna stop
different.
because I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep on talking and talking and talking. We'll be here all day.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your message, Joy. For talking about prioritizing and choosing, and I think it's really important subjects. So thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. Uh, let's wrap it up, Angie. I'm Kira Edgar.
And I'm Awesome Angie, again, honoring the awesomeness in all of you. And once again, Joy, thank you for joining us today on Momentum Maker Podcast. So, all of you listeners out there, keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you happen to be a course creator or an entrepreneur spending too much time selling one-on-one, and you are ready to condense time, there's the word time again, and sell one to many, we help people save time and organize their time, prioritizing their time by going to open up a tab on your browser and go to elitevirtualstages.com/blueprint and learn how you can turn your expertise into a 6 and even 7-figure day using live transformational virtual masterclasses. So thanks again, everybody. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day.